for that sample.
You know how he said Kanye West and he said he uses so many samples so he's not making that much? But
He's probably not making
the actual artist a lot of the time and gets permission.
Right, and that's the way. And now actually sampling is big business. There's a Stax Records, an old funk soul, where those guys get sampled all the time. They've actually gone out and said, look, we're opening up our catalog. Please sample us. Yeah. And they actually have rates that you can negotiate. So literally a sample can go from this much to $1 million. It really depends. Like Just Blaze Breathe, that song. That song was put out before any of the samples were cleared. It hit radio, it was a huge hit, and it wasn't even supposed to go out to radio yet. Guess who the original owners now said, oh, you got a radio hit? We want this, and this, and this, and this, and this. So this just keep in mind as far as samples and keeping in mind publishing-wise. Now we're going to go to the fun part of the thing that rappers all strive for, every musician thinks is the holy mecca to get to the record deal, okay? And I'm here to let you know it's not everything it's cut up to. It's not everything it's cut out to be. It's not what you make it to be. It is what it is, okay? And I'm going to use these 3 bags of Skittles to explain how a record deal works, okay? First off, when you sign to a record deal, you literally sign away your rights to all your music. You don't own your music. You don't own your likeness, meaning your image.
Oh boy.
You don't own your rights to appear in videos. Basically, everything about you, and sometimes even your name, you literally give all this permission to the record label to have. It now becomes theirs. When you sign a record contract, you're basically saying, all the music I'm going to make is now all your music. So, have you ever noticed like a guy gets signed, and then they leave that label and they have to go by a different name or they spell their name differently? You ever seen something like that happen? You never seen that happen?
Yeah, I'm sure I have.
Okay, well, you could go in, they might spell like, they used to be an S, now they got to spell it with a Z. They do that because the record label now owns that name. So this is very common, this happens all the time. This is why, because when you sign a record deal, you're basically saying to the label, I'm now giving you all my aspects of who I am. My likeness, my image, my video, my music, all these things. In return, the record label pays you a royalty, which is about equal to Skittles, okay? Let me do some simple math to make this understand. You sign, let's say I'm KJ52 Records signing Infamous Josh to a record deal. Let's say I say, okay Josh, I'm going to give you 10 points on a record deal. 10 points is 10%, which basically, for easy math, basically means if a record sells for $15, you would make 10% of $15 is?
Why couldn't you just say like $10 or something?
Okay, we'll do this simpler, because apparently none of us has gone past pre-algebra, okay? Okay, a record sells for 10 bucks, you make 10% of that is $1, okay? So you think, okay, well, I sold 100,000 records, I've made $100,000. Sounds like good money, right? In theory. The thing is, that $100,000 is that they have to pay you. You will never see any of that until you pay the record label back for all the things that they've given to you. Meaning, you sign a record deal.
What'd they give me?
This is what they're going to give you. You get what's called an advance, okay? This will say your advance is 20 Skittles, okay? Let's say it's $20,000. They say, oh, hey, hold on. Come on. I'm so glad I signed you. I'm going to give you $20,000. You're like, yeah, $20,000. That $20,000 is a loan from your own money.
Kind of like a credit card.
Kind of. But not really that nice. Basically, they go, there's your advance.
Right.
Here's your $20,000 to live off of while you make your album, okay? Then they say, okay, you got to make your record. Okay, you got to make your record. Let's say you guys are a duo. You got to make your record.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, the group's already in trouble. Anyway, they say, oh, you got to make your record. I gave you the $20,000 advance. Now we've got to actually make your record. We're going to pay this out. This is to the production. You got all your beat producers, okay? So they paid out more money. Now you got to get in the studio, right? You got to pay for that. You pay for the studio time. Oh, well, you're going to my studio now because it's my record label, and I'm going to bill you for that.
Oh, that's not right.
Oh, it gets worse.
Oh.
Now they say, well, I got to fly you out to the studio. That expense of flying you to your own studio to record your own record, I'm going to charge you for that too.
What if you want to drive? Your own car?
I'm paying your gas. I'm charging you for your own gas. Let's say you shoot a video.
Yeah, but what if he's already paying for it?
Oh, trust me. This is basically how you'll never see that money. Let's say you shoot a video. You shoot the video, here you go. You shot a video, that's more money. You're like, oh, Uncle Moneybags, KJ52. Yeah, I love you. Yeah, well, let's say, okay, well, you want to get an ad out in the Source magazine. Okay? Costs you a little bit more. Okay?
Skittles, please.
Man, I don't know, bro. It's good, man.
In 1 minute, we've probably already, with all that money that I just spent, probably already spent $100,000.
Wow.
You might spend $100,000 just making your record alone. So you've got $20,000 in advance, $100,000 making your record. A video probably runs you about $50,000. What's your budget up to now? You're close to $170,000. You haven't even earned a dime yet because you haven't even sold a record yet. Your advertisements, they bill you for that too. That's another $20,000. You're up to almost $200,000. They bill you for all your flights, coming back and forth to the record label, even when they were probably courting you to get your deal. Trust me, they'll turn around and bill you for that later on. Okay? We're not done yet. Let's say you're in the studio, you're like, oh yeah, we're living large, let's order Chinese. And suddenly the label goes, let's get everybody go out to eat, it's on us. It's not on us, it's on you. You're paying for it. Because it's going to wind up on your expenses later on. So while, trust me, everything in the record business is what is called recoupable. Recoupable means I'm billing you for this and you got to pay me back. You have to recoup what I paid you. Okay?
Couldn't you just say no to a lot of stuff?
Well, but if I walked up to you and you're just all excited, you sign your record deal, and I'm saying, hey man, you want to go out to eat? It's on me, it's on the label. What are you going to say? You're like, let's eat steak, let's go to Outback. That's what you're going to say. So yeah, of course, smart artists would this, but most artists don't know this.
So what do they got to do? Like take a little note, okay, one dinner.
Oh yeah.
That's one beat.
All those expenses start going back there. So by the time you're done, you haven't even sold a record yet. Your budget could be anywhere from $50,000 to $200,000. Now going back to that analogy, remember the $10? Remember the $10 CD sold? You make $1 off that CD. In theory, you actually make less because they shrink that amount down. They charge you for the manufacturing costs of making your record. You know, it costs like $1 or $2 to make your record. They take that and deduct it from the amount that they owe you. Meaning, you say, well, I should get paid on the $10. Actually, you're getting paid on $8 because they take $2 off for your manufacturing. So what just happened? Your $1 that you were making just shrunk down to 80 cents. Do you see what I'm saying?
You say independent?
Yeah, really.
Okay, well, we'll get to that in a second.